So I feel like all the different connection points kind of comprise, like, kind of, pulled this puzzle of you together to see. I mean, I mean, like, it's a pretty cool experience, isn't it? The journey we went on, and
Yeah.
to kind of adorn yourself, and then make these connections, and then let these sort of rare, uh, you know, idiosyncratic expressions get captured. I just So the next thing we went on to was a connection to really your grandmother, and I'll just share the screen again. And this was a connection to your grandmother, and all through a little brooch. And
Mhm.
there's something. I'm just going to bring this one up here. I love this. I love this both in black and white and also in color. Ugh, look at you. So this little brooch that's actually kind of not even tack sharp, but it's like
Mhm.
you are embodying her spirit.
She was exceptionally musical and she had chronic migraines. It seems as if there's a certain uh, talent tied to pain that goes from grandma to my mother to me.
Wow.
And I found that with my grandmother, I really related to the musical side of her. Um, and that pin that I'm wearing there is one that I wear quite frequently. And it's a circular, although it looks not circular. Um, I think it's the circular one.
Are you talking about the music one, or this is
Oh, no,
that
no,
sort of,
the
it's sort
pin
of,
I'm wearing.
yeah, it's kind of oblongish,
Yeah, yeah,
rectangular.
yeah.
Yeah. Um,
And yeah, it's sort of in my mind showing the circle of life or the oblong of life, that everything is connected.
yeah.
It's got the outside edge that's shaping it, and within that are the intricacies of life. And although you want to be on the outside where you can shine, it's
So
really the inner part that is who you are.
absolutely. That's so beautiful. And I feel like this expression, you just you just explained it, because you're holding that. Look at this expression.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it feels honorable, it feels connected. Yeah. Just exquisite.
And I
So,
almost look like my grandmother in this shot.
well, I feel like you are embodying an aspect of your grandmother. And this is what we do when we call in the ancestors. It's all about the ancestors. And they show up, and they shine through our eyes. They shine through who we are, because we are the continuation of their legacy. So it's pretty powerful. It's very, very powerful. So, my goodness. And then we went from there. So let me ask you another question. I've got a whole bunch of questions here, and I'm really curious, because you really went deep into your process, and each set. I mean, the planning for your experience was very pedantic, right? And that's what you needed to do, and so
Yeah.
I wanted to support that. So you had to have the right earrings, the right necklace, the right pendant. Everything was all connected together, and then the wardrobe. And I mean, we spent, because you came up the night before, and we spent
Hmm.
what, 2 hours just setting
Yeah.
that up. So,
Yeah.
and then the next day, it was all lined up. It was just tickety boo. So, which was really smart. So, from the point of being in the shoot, before we started, now first thought, okay, don't think about this, Judy. Stay out of your that big brain up there, and from kind of this area here. What were you most afraid of?
Uh, it's going to sound weird, but it's me. Hey, what do you expect? I was most afraid of showing my true self, but that is what I wanted to do.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because as a child, just I grew up as the youngest in the family. Showing my true self might show a weakness that somebody could exploit.
Wow.
But
So it had to be safe for you to go
yes,
there. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And that's why it was with you.
Aw. Well, it's a real combined effort. Yeah. So, yeah. How you doing?
Okay.
It's big stuff. It's kind of healing, right? So, and that's
Mm-hmm.
good. So you kind of answered my next question was what were you most excited about? And I feel like that was, to actually feel safe and free to express your true self. And that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
pretty awesome. So I'm going to share another image. We're just going to keep flipping back and forth. And I want to share the image of this connection to, let me just bring it up here. Well, we started off with, again, the Celtic cross, the connection to your Scottish ancestry, and this beautiful scarf, which is
Mm-hmm.
connected to your in-laws,
Yes.
and this expression. Tell me about this expression.
I have the Celtic cross, which ties to my Scottish heritage, the Celtic cross. And the scarf is one that was given to me by my mother-in-law. And we had shopped together for a winter coat for me and found one that was fabulous. And I was then looking for a scarf to go with it. And without any, fancy holiday or anything, she just showed up with it one day. And it was perfect. It's like my favorite scarf. And it's just reminds me so much of the fact that she showed up without any holiday need to be there to give me a gift. And that she felt close enough to me to give me a gift just because. And the entire Nesbitt family, my husband's family, is like that. They're completely open and embracing, which might sound like a bit of a contradiction. But they embraced me as I was. There was no, oh, well, she's not working. Oh, well, she's going to take all this time for Mark to take care of. Oh, this, oh, that. It wasn't any of that. It's like, hey, Judy, glad to meet you. And they've been
Beautiful.
extremely supportive through all that Mark and I have been through together.
Yeah. And a lot. And you've been through a lot together. And it's
Yeah,
it's
just a bit.
beautiful. Yeah. So you might want to give them a copy of that photo, my friend. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So then we ventured into your spiritual connection to music, and so this is another interesting connection point for you, and so we worked through this set interestingly enough, and then um, uh, I felt the need to change the position, like to get this juxtaposition going on, to get this more voyeuring kind of view of you in your connection. And so let me share that photo, and just going to bring it up here. Here we go, and share that. Yes. Okay. Here we go. And so this brooch, another important brooch,
Mm-hmm.
and this connection. So tell me,
Well,
you
first off,
just drop
the
into her for a moment and tell me what are you experiencing?
just to let you know, the brooch has the initials EA on it, which is for Elva Anderson, my grandmother. That was my grandmother's.
Wow.
Uh, and in that moment, I'd been thinking about music and so forth. My grandmother was an organist at her church. She taught piano. She could have been a concert pianist if money had been different. And I was just thinking about all of the beautiful classical music I know. And there is some of it that I feel is so beautiful, it moves me to tears and
Mm.
takes me to a very spiritual spot. So I was just sort of floating in some favorite bit of music and just resting there comfortably with my music and my spiritual nature of music. It's very strong for me that spirituality and music are tied. It's like spirituality and nature are tied to me. It's probably the
Right.
two strongest ties that I have. And music to me has been in my house ever since I was born. All three of us kids played piano. You know, I played alto sax, my sister played the flute, and my brother played the clarinet. So
Wow.
it was a household of music. And then my
Yeah.
dad couldn't carry a tune in a bucket.
Wow. It's just beautiful. I mean, to me, I mean, all of these photos are like legacy photos. You know, they really, touch down and are like identity markers of who you are.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And something I would encourage you to actually write, because you're a writer, write and place in with these photos this information of what
Yeah.
was going on in those moments.
Mm-hmm.
One day, someone's going to find that box, that portfolio box, and it would be nice to have the rest of the information, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be nice.
So what did it feel like to kind of dig deep into these connections and then allowing these expressions to just be liberated? What did that feel like for you?
The digging deep mostly happened just internally, but it's once I engaged with you in the camera that the depth increased to a place that I don't think many people see. It's the late at night writing poetry or trying to play some piece of music on the piano.
Hmm.
And it was just easy to take the first step, but the second one took more effort. But again, with your encouragement, I found it a lot easier to access some of these points more deeply than I do normally, which was in a way mind blowing.
Wow.
And now you're going to make me cry.
What are you feeling?
Joy.
Oh my goodness. That's so beautiful, Judy. It was such an honor to work with you. You were so authentic and you just made every effort to show up. It's just incredible to witness you. I mean, we didn't even know if you could go up and down the stairs, and you just marched yourself up and down those stairs to the hair and makeup room. You're like, I'm going to do this. Just look out of my way. Let me hold on to the railing, and I'm going to do this.
Yep, I'm going to do it, and nothing's going to stop me.
That's
Can you
right.
say scrappy?
And I'm like, can I please just be in front of you so if you do fall, that, you can fall on me, you know,
And
and
for us both.
not tumble down the stairs. So anyway, it was just amazing. Wow. So the next section I'd like to talk about and share with everybody is the sensual side of Judy. And I mean, I love to do this. I love to hold this safe space for women because it's not boudoir. It's I call it the sensualist, and it is just about being this embodiment of this feminine sensual aspect within you. And there's obviously a connection here to your husband, and but it isn't about being sexy. It's about being very connected to this, like the divine feminine in you. And So let me bring up, I've got three up here. So tell me, how did this feel to be sort of wrapped up like this precious being and connecting to this part of you and letting her come out to be captured?
Well, to be honest, at first, I was a little bit resistant to this idea. It's sort of like wrapping me up in some purple stuff. I don't know. And I think you can see in the top left photo that I'm not quite all there yet.
Yeah, but I recognize that, but it's the
Mhm.
coming. It's
Yes,
the coming and then the connecting and then she arrives.
yes.
It's this
It's
perfect trilogy.
yeah. The eyes shut are me reaching for that, and you can see in the last one that I have found her and she has found me.
Yeah.
And you know, the feminine, sensual side with a little background of divine warrior is there.
Yes. Yeah. So how did it feel to show up fully? Let me just focus on this one. Fully as in uninhibited, authentic in front of the camera.
It was surprising because you just said in front of the camera. At this point, I wasn't aware there was a camera.
Yeah.
I was connecting to the divine, and you were there, you were a friend, that was fine. And it was as if we weren't doing a photo shoot anymore. It was just me sitting with who I am.
Yeah.
And it was really rather powerful to be able to connect so fully. I know I sound like a broken record saying that to do this so fully, it's
Yeah.
as if stepping in the door of your place just took away some layers of the onion to reach the core.
Wow. Well, and and it's yeah, I mean it's a really powerful co-creative process. There's no question about it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I just loved every minute of working with you. So we've got
I just hated working with you, I tell you.
yeah, you were like like high maintenance up the wazoo. No, I'm kidding. So I think we're all high maintenance when it comes to, creating a safe place for somebody. It has to be high touch, high maintenance. It has to be there's nothing off the table that isn't going to be too much to make this happen for you. And I
Yeah.
think that's really important. And I think that's what holds a lot of people back because,
Mhm. I
yeah,
mean, even just some of the physical limitations I have, you were well aware and worked within those. It wasn't really an issue.
yeah.
Um, and that's it. You didn't want me to balance on one foot with my hands over my head going, oh. Um, that wouldn't have been me anyways. but
No.
but you did work within, the limitations that I do
Yeah.
have.
But that's just honoring you. So so um so the next section, I'm sort of, oh gosh, I'm just flicking through them here in my catalog. I'm gonna start sharing the screen again. So this is, again, your spiritual connection to you, the artist, the writer, and now the photographer yourself. And so this I'm gonna start with this one.
Mhm.
And this is so sublime, this connection. I must be weird because I have this thing about when people close their eyes, I think they look absolutely divine. There's something that, with eyes open as well, but I don't know. There's something changes. It's almost like you are in that that self-reflective place, and it isn't, there's no outward piece happening here.
It also, in a way, helps, I think, me anyways, to relax. I close my eyes and all the visual stimulus drops away,
Yeah.
and I'm more able to focus on my creative side. I'm not looking around wondering, yeah, that's a strange statuette she has over there, and anything like that. It's just completely close my eyes and connect to the creativity that there is. And there's creativity everywhere. It's
Yeah.
in the air, it's in the smells. I'm a very smell oriented person.
Yeah.
And, the memories that can be brought up by smell, and
Yeah.
you can just shut your eyes and be wherever. And there I am with my eyes shut. And I could have been anywhere at that point. I don't remember exactly where I was, but
Well,
yeah.
then she showed up.
You make it sound like some unwanted person walked in the door.
No, not at all. I mean, authentic,
Yeah. Yeah.
penetrating, and you can just barely make out at the bottom your fingers, because your fingers were sitting sort of right in the middle of your, your heart center,
Mm-hmm.
with this beautiful black obsidian heart. Um, and you were looking right through, you know, this connection, this connection. Look at this connection. Yeah.
I'm peering at the photo. Yeah. My eye color is often a giveaway
Yeah.
of where I'm at. And I can't tell for
You're
sure.
you're kind of hazel.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
a, there's some of the green in there, which
That's
usually
definitely.
is an indicator of stronger emotions, going to a deeper place.
Yeah.
And so the fact that it's there doesn't really surprise me. And yeah,
I just
you
love
can see
this.
this. You can see this woman has ideas, and she'll get those ideas expressed, and she's sure it will happen. But there might be some delays. But damn it, it'll happen.
Absolutely. All right. And then the last one here, which is I'm not sure color or black and white. I'm such a black and white fan, but the red, the color here was so beautiful, and then of course there's there just a hint of the purple in your hair.
Mm-hmm.
But this to me is commanding as well.
Yeah, I see this as the observer.
Yeah.
Um, every creative process has a stage near the beginning where you're just observing, be it, the foal playing in the field that you want to photograph. You have to watch the foal, see what it does and what its character is like. And I people watch all the time. And if I'm waiting in a doctor's office, depending on how long the wait is, I may have made up stories for everybody else in the room. Just working on the creative side of my mind.
Yeah.
And you can see here that she's observing, and I don't know if I'd want to catch her gaze, because right there it looks pretty intense.
Yeah.
She could probably see right to your core at that moment that you
Yeah.
caught.
That's, I think that the point is that you're very present, just
Mm-hmm.
very, very present. So,
Yeah.
hi, it's me, Lorianne. I just wanted to thank you for watching today's episode of Open Inward Conversations. And I wanted to invite you to do a little intuitive dig. Do you have a niggly feeling that maybe this is something you'd like to explore, that you'd like to experience, that you'd like to unpack this aspect of yourself and be captured in this really sacred manner. You know, you're sitting here watching this because you're already a spiritually aligned person, or you're on that path. And this whole work is really, really geared toward allowing our soul to come forward and be captured for us, for our loved ones, for our future grandchildren, great grandchildren, and great great grandchildren, and so on. There's something to be said about old photographs that stand the test of time, that maintain a link to those that we love that we've never met. It's kind of magical. In this digital age, people don't print their photos very often anymore, and they get lost. They just become digital dust. I beg you, don't become digital dust. So if this is something you're just tiny bit curious about, you know what? Book a discovery call. Let's grab 15 minutes. I would love to meet you. I would love to talk about what your dream is, how you dream of being photographed. And I'd also like to talk about what your concerns are, what your fears are. All of that stuff is all part of the journey, right? So book a 15-minute discovery call. It could change your life. I look forward to meeting you. I really do. All right. See you soon. Book it in. All right. Bye.